Good morning. Welcome to Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program. We sincerely apologize for bringing the program a bit behind schedule. We were experiencing some technical glitches. Well, however, we are on the set of Inside Nigeria. We are moving straight to the second half of the program where we'll have discussions on some trending issues. Today with me in the studio is my Friday guest, is a public affairs analyst, Gerard Kachi.
Yeah,
Good morning.
a very
It's a
good
pleasure
morning
to
to
have you on the
you and
program.
good morning to our viewers.
Yes. Yesterday, May 29 marked 2 years inauguration anniversary of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. Of course, there has been so much from the ruling party APC to celebrate. They said they have so much to celebrate in this midterm report. However, some other opposition parties do not feel the same way. As a matter of fact, the Punch leading story today says midterm review, APC fights back as Labour counters Tinubu's scorecard. So, as a public affairs analyst, how would you analyze Tinubu's midterm report?
You see, I will come from a soccer angle, sports angle.
Okay.
You know, if you're a soccer player and past 2 days, I think there was a final between Chelsea and Real Betis.
Yes.
Where Chelsea finally overcome Real Betis. The first half, Chelsea was trailing. And that's what I see in Tinubu scorecard.
Okay.
The past 2 years have not been easy for Nigerians, so that is a fact. That's a reality. People struggle. People went into depression because of some policies that he boldly embarked upon. You understand? Yes, one can say that maybe in recent time we're beginning to see some glimpse of light or hope with regards to the struggle. But then he still have another 2 years to behave like Chelsea.
Okay.
You know,
it so are you saying that the
depends.
poor can breathe now? Because you said you liking this midterm report to Chelsea and the
Real Betis.
Betis match as
Yes.
the
First half, Chelsea were losing.
So in other words, the economy is better now. Security situations is better.
No. This is a mid-term scorecard.
Yes.
So I'm just saying that they are in the dressing room now.
Okay.
Perhaps the remaining 2 years, you can use it to bounce back. Because if you look at the issue of insecurity, or security as you can put it, it has spread unlike what it used to be. In fact, just few days ago, I heard of a report of a kidnap case in Ayamba, Kogi State, where the victim identified somebody who kidnapped him. And because he has been able to identify the person who kidnapped him, they killed him and roasted him and ate him.
They killed him.
You will have another report in Enugu, where we have ritualists,
Yes,
with pregnant, so yes, in terms of security, it has spread. Insecurity has spread. You understand? Just recently, we saw these criminals called bandits overrunning our military. Videoing
Many
it.
experts will blame it on the economic hardship.
Yes, that's what I'm saying now. As of today, the only place you can give President Bola Ahmed Tinubu thumbs up is infrastructure. There have been massive construction going on in Nigeria, especially with regards to road. There are giant edible work, quality work for that matter. You understand? So you can give it to him, and maybe with NEL fund, this is a student loan that he has achieved. Aside that, every other thing is neither here nor there. So he still have 2 years to show Nigerians that he's still on track. You understand? We begin to see some of the policies he has embarked upon maybe begin to appear that it will be positive. For example, there have been steady naira to dollar have been steady in recent times. It's no longer where every week or every day the thing keeps rising. You understand? You look at petrol, almost on a weekly basis or days basis, you will hear either Dangote drop, NNPC drop. It's no longer whereby you wake up, you continue to see increase. So we expect that those glimpses of hope can continue.
At the time, we were buying fuel for more than 1,000 naira.
Yes,
Some fuel
yes.
stations were selling 1,112.
And the thing, really destroy a lot of businesses. Students drop out of school. It causes a lot of hardship. It causes untold hardship. At a point, we saw a mother, jump into a river out of frustration because he's unable to, train the child. He had to throw the child inside the river. You understand? So there have been a lot of neither here nor there. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a second 2 years, which is second half for him.
To prove himself.
I have read the scorecard they gave themselves, the issue of minimum wage. Can you compare minimum wage now to what it used to be with Muhammadu Buhari? The Muhammadu Buhari regime was 30,000 naira. As at then, a dollar to naira is about 400 naira.
Yes.
You understand? If you convert that 30,000 naira to dollar, it will give you greater value than even 70,000 to convert to dollar now. So it goes to tell you that at a point, even the 70,000 was not able to buy a bag of rice.
Thank you so much. Still on President Bola Tinubu's 2 year in office, that is midterm report. 2 days ago, the presidency sent a loan request to the National Assembly for a fresh $24 billion loan, and which has continued to generate concerns and controversies over the looming debt profile and its implications for overall fiscal sustainability. Now, what do you have to say about that, given the fact that President Bola Tinubu has always told Nigerians that since he came on board and with the removal of few subsidies, they actually have enough revenue now especially from non-oil sector to share in fact among the governors. So how come the president is still going cap in hand to beg for more funds?
It's a government that it specializes in propaganda. Apologies to use that word, but that is what it is. A situation just few weeks ago, earlier this month, it was reported that we have cleared the debt we are owing. They paid $2 billion. You understand? We are clapping. We are, not knowing that.
World Bank COVID loan.
So not knowing that it was made to clear in order to have
room for
more borrowing. You understand? We are looking at it as one of the achievements of this, because it's part of the achievement of Obasanjo when he succeeded in is it for pardon of loans through Koji1 or thereabouts. You understand? That Paris Club. You understand? So we are looking at it as part of the achievement of this, and you are coming back to even borrow times 10 of what you cleared. That it will take generations to pay back. You understand? We saw the kind of loans that President Muhammadu Buhari did, that at a point he has to even concession our crude
yes,
to those loans. And you are coming with your own. So my own is that if that loan will, bring us from developing country to a developed country, of course we give it a support. But a situation where the budget in view now, the budget that we are running, that is about 54 trillion naira budget, that was benchmarked on $75 per crude, that is selling less than $65 per crude. And in that 54 trillion naira budget, there are reports that they pad that budget to the tune of over 11 trillion. Is it not the same in National Assembly that padded that budget of over 11 trillion, that you are taking this loan for approval? Meaning that plus or minus, for them to approve it, there will be kickback.
yes,
You understand? When there is kickback, some percentage of the thing being borrowed will be. Just recently, we saw one of House of Rep member sharing a whopping sum of 200 million naira to his constituency over the weekend, over the past week. You understand? So it means that it becomes this thing they call national cake. Everybody is coming to court to whatever that is remaining of this country. They just want to bleed it, suffocate it. if he can be diligent enough to see that the money is judiciously used for the purpose, because I understand that some of this money, they say that it will pan to 2 years, between 2024 to 2026, and I wonder, that is why I say it's propaganda. 2024 is the year that we have finished.
Yes.
There's no way you can bring it back.
Bring it back, and we're already in the middle of 2025.
25, and you are telling us that the loan you want to borrow is between 2024 to 2026. It's 6.5 a dozen.
Did they backdate?
I don't know. Maybe the ones they have borrowed, they just want to push it into it, which is not possible.
Yes.
You understand? You know, when governments begin to do their bragatabra, even the learned get confused. You understand? So, provided that the money they are borrowing is tied to projects, and then, for example, if out of those over $20 billion, you say, okay, $1 billion is to be used to connect the entire states in Nigeria with a railway. Some of us in the civil society will concentrate in that 1 billion, yes, and pursue it and see to the judicious use of it. You say, okay, another one is to maybe to dredge some of the rivers we have so that ships can be connecting to them. You understand? It makes sense. You say, okay, you are doing coastal highway, and you must do coastal highway to connect all the 6 geopolitical zones. If you are, tying each one with each project, yes, it will make sense. But the situation whereby you just sum the whole thing up, present it and push it, I get confused. And when you use Freedom of Information Act to obtain information on what they are doing with the money they have generated, don't forget that it's not just the subsidy that they claim that they are saving that has surplus now. Yes. There are reports that even EFCC have claimed that they have recovered billions of naira. You understand? Custom are giving thumbs up that, yes, they are having their target. FIR are giving the same report. So if everybody is claiming surplus, why are we borrowing? That is the question.
It's a question for the courts.
Why are we borrowing? Are we subjecting our unborn children to perpetual slavery because whoever you are owing, one way or the other, you are indebted to the person?
Oh, yes. And
being indebted to the person means that you will be servant to the person. The person will dictate how you move. That was why part of the IMF advice to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was coming on board is to remove subsidy and float our naira. And we saw the catastrophic cost in our economy.
And we are still seeing it. We are still experiencing it.
And now we want to go back to that borrowing, whereby they will dictate whatever that happens with your borrowing. If you want, in the fight against this insurgents, or what do you call it, these bandits or terrorists, we purchase Tucano jet, and that Tucano jet we purchase, we are giving conditions on how to use it. That is the same way that will happen with the money they're giving to you. Today, our interest rate is in double digits. How do you grow economy with such kind of economy you run? Whereas other people that are loaning you this money are running a single digit interest rate. So my even in less than single digits is 0 point.
And you expect your business
to grow.
SMEs, ME to grow. It's very, very unfortunate. Now, moving ahead, just before we go shortly, of course, the issue of flood has also already started taking its toll on the Nigerians. We have reported that 21 died, 10 missing in the Niger flood disaster. Same story in most all the papers we have, including Nigeria's foremost Friday newspaper, Leadership Friday. So what can actually be done to prevent casualties?
Sometimes
NIMET is doing his own part.
Yes, giving information.
But however, what about these poor Nigerians that live just by the coast?
I think there are a lot that need to be done. Yes, on the part of NIMET, you give them thumbs up, and I want to use this opportunity to express my thoughts and prayers with the Niger State government, especially the families that
lost,
yes, and those that lost properties as well. But then, this is where I give thumbs up to our past leaders. In the 80s, they used to have what they call this last Saturday of the month cleanup.
Yes, sanitation.
You understand? And then when you hear that environmentalists or are coming to your area, you see everybody will sit up, including your pot. You will wash it very clean. You understand? If we can begin to see how we can improve our environmental laws, whereby where you live, where you do your business, whatever you do, if they see that drainage block, you should be penalized.
Yes.
Those places should be sealed. You understand? You engage task force that will see even under the rain, that will watch, those drainages. If anybody comes to throw refuse inside the drainage, they can have effect arrest. You understand? There are measures, even put surveillance cameras. You understand? There are things you can do to curtail, because government are doing their own part. But it appears like the nature of Nigeria today appears to frustrate what the government are doing. You understand? So if they do drainage, in less than 1 year or 2 years, the drainage will be filled with refuse and sand.
Yes.
Meaning that maintenance is what we are lacking.
Yes. Nigeria lacks a maintenance culture.
You understand? If we can enforce it, enforcement is the key. Enforce that attitude of seeing that we have a clean environment. It will reduce the level of ill health we have in our society, especially with regards to mosquito bites, typhoid and malaria.
Yes.
You understand? It will lead to more life expectancy and the growth.
Yes.
There's a healthy life. It will help us with management of natural disasters like flood and erosion. You understand? But by the time you are not doing all of this, what we concentrate is you just build the road, everybody will clap for you, come and commission it. The ones already built cannot be maintained. We continue to have issues like this. So if local government chairmen and their councillors can make it a priority that every road that is working, every drainage fixed, must be made open for waterways to find its channel.
Yes.
You understand? To move. Because water must find its way. If it's supposed to go through a gutter and that gutter is blocked, it will enter road or enter street or enter community or enter farm. You understand? Yeah. These are some of the things we expect these leaders. Just yesterday, I was watching the National Assembly, where one of the senators, I think Senate President, asked one of the senators to define what harmonization means. You see him as a senator struggling to unable to answer that question. So it tells you that the best of us are going outside the country, while the worst of us are the ones
staying behind.
Leading. You understand?
Leading.
That's what it simply means. The other time was at a greenhouse where one is even struggling to move a motion or sponsor a bill. You understand? You ask yourself, how do you get to this point? That you can have credible people that can lead. You understand? So if we begin to have councillors, local government chairmen, state assembly member, governors of repute, you understand, that have ideology, that can push it through, not personal aggrandizement that we have today, a lot of things will be good.
All right, thank you so much. That is a takeaway from today's Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. Unfortunately, we couldn't start on time, like I explained earlier, due to some technical glitches. However, we just did this second part on the meeting report of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. And of course, I've had the pleasure of having company today, as usual, every Friday, public affairs analyst, Gerard Tachi. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Viewers, my name is Winifred Ugwebo, and this is where we draw the curtain on today's program. Don't forget to join us same time, same station for another fresh edition of the program next week, Monday. Here is wishing a beautiful weekend ahead. And don't also forget to log into this station for news on the app. Thanks for joining us.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country. Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.